Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to be creating our quotes page, and I think everything is going to make sense and it's going to click once we finish creating this and we write a couple of lines of code in our app.py. What I'm going to do in the quotes page is import beautiful soup. Notice how I didn't do that in the quote page because we didn't need to. Then I'm going to import our quote page locator, and also I'm going to import our quote parser. Then creating a quotes page, we're going to define an init method, and this one is going to take in the page content. So that's the entire HTML of the entire page. And we're going to load that using requests in a moment. Now this already we know and love, we've done this in the past. We're going to say self.soup is beautiful soup of page and giving it an HTML parser. Then we're going to define a property in here, which is the quotes. And what this is going to do is it's going to grab the locator, which is the quotes page locators.quote. Then is going to quote tags. Is going to find all of them. So it's going to do self.soup.select with that locator. And finally, what it's going to do is it's going to return a quote parser for each element in quote tags. Okay, so hopefully this starts to make a little bit more sense. What we do is we find each of the divs that we're looking for, and each of the divs, we pass each one to a quote parser object. That quote parser can then use that parent to find children inside it. So it here is doing self.parent, which is the div, .select one of the content locator. So it's going to find the content locator within this parent and not within any other parent. Similarly for the author and similarly for the tags. So now this page has this quotes property, and what it returns are a group of objects of type quote parser, from which we can access the name of the author, the content of the quote, and the tags. So if we go to our app.py now, you'll see that this starts to make a bit more sense. I'm going to import requests, and from the quotes page, I'm going to import the quotes page. Quotes page, that one. Now, the first thing to do, of course, is to get the page content, which we must do using requests. So request.get http quotes2scrape.com.content. This is going to get the page, and this is going to give me the content of the page. Now, this entire content, everything we've loaded, we give it to our quotes page object. This now gets parsed using beautiful soup because the constructor here, the init method, does that. It gets the beautiful soup and parses the entire page. Going back to app.py, we can then do for quote in page.quotes print quote. When we print quote, that's gonna, well, first of all, page.quotes is going to give us quote parser objects. And each quote parser object has a wrapper method that is going to get called when we print it out. So when we print, it's going to go through each quote in the quotes list we got back, and it's going to print it out. Let's right-click app.py and run it. And there you have it. We get our quote objects like that. If you wanted to just print the name, content, not the name, the content of the quote, you could do that. And then you just get the contents of the quote here. Hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. Let's go over it again in the very next video. I'll see you there.